Okay, so let's look at the next Python interview question. So the question is, what is REPR and what is STR, and what is the difference between like this wrapper method and this STR method, and when to use what? So this is a commonly asked Python interview question. So let's look into this. So in the Python, whenever you see any method starting with the double underscore, so this is the one underscore and ending with the double underscore, then it is called as a special method or magic method. So this wrapper method starting with the double underscore and ending with the double underscore. Similarly, STR method starting with the double underscore and ending with the double underscore. So these are called the special method, or we can call it as a magic method. So we can like answer in such a way like REPR and STR both are the Python inbuilt special method, or we can call it as a matching method. Okay. Why it is called a special method? Because in the Python, if it is like starting with the double underscore and ending with the double underscore, then we call it as a matching method. Okay. So, but what is the use of it? And when to use REPR, when to use STR, what is the difference? So REPR and STR both are used for the string representation of an object. So what does it mean? So let's look at the example. So let's suppose when you are going to define some class. So class, my class. So my class. So my class is a one class. Okay. Now you are going to define one method. Now you are going to define one method, init method. Okay. And in that init method, you are going to take name and age, or you can say f name and l name, first name and the last name, right? And then what will you do? A self dot f name is equal to f name, self dot l name is equal to l name, right? So this is the normal which we are going to define the class. And what we will do if we have to initialize the object, we will just like mention like this, and this init method is going to take two arguments, which is first name and the last name. Let's pass the first name. Let's pass the last name. Okay. So it should be in the quotes. Okay, fine. So that is done. So now if we ever run our function, nothing is going to happen, right? So what will happen if I just going to print my object? So I am going to print my object. So what will happen? All right. So if I run this python test.py file, we are getting this, like it is under the main object. Then there is a my class, and then the class is like at this object. So the class object is at this memory location. So this is the memory location. But if someone, even the developer, look at this, then it's very difficult to understand. Right? So by default, this is the representation of the object. So how the object looks like by default, this is. But like even the developer unable to understand like what is it, it is this. And even for the normal user, it is very difficult to understand. So to simplify that, we have two methods. So one is the def wrapper method, right? So what is it use? It is going to like wrapper and str both are used for the string representation of an object. So this is not a, like if you do type of object, and let me remove this and run this. So you could see, so this is the main, and this is a class object. This is a class object, right? This is a class object. Now, so this is not like easily we can't read this, like what exactly it's this, it is this. So let me run one more time. Yeah. So now let me go to the yeah. So wrapper and str both are used to string representation of an object. So wrapper is basically, we know both wrapper and str are used for the string representation of object. So wrapper is also used for the string representation. Str are also used to the string representation. Then what is the difference? Wrapper is used for the developers. Str is used for the users. So like both wrapper also can be used by the user. Str also can be used by the users. but mainly str represent, we when we use wrapper method, then we have to like define that function. So as an example, when I'm going to define that function, def underscore wrapper, correct? Now I have to define something. Otherwise, it is an empty function. I have to define something. All right. So the way we are going to define in this wrapper method, you can define in normal way. It's up to us. But generally, we have to define in such a way the string representation of an object, so that the developers can understand. So how the developer can understand this object? So we know this object is of my class, which is going to take two arguments, first name and the last name. So the same way we are going to define that object. So return, basically when I am printing obj, so ideally this should be printed, because if I assign some variable, let's suppose var is equal to 10, var is equal to 10, and if I'm going to print var, right, then what I will get? I am getting 10. But in this case, I am saying object is equal to my class. But when I print object, I am not able to see this thing, but I am able to see like this memory representation of the object. So which is the default representation. So, but the developers know this way. So how we are going to define? So what we have to do is we have to define we have to define my class. We have to return my class. So then there should be bracket. Then there is a bracket and then there is a bracket and under that there are two things, Manchu and Kana. So which is self dot f name. Then it should be comma. Then self dot and name. That's it. Now, if I just print this, now you could see I am getting my class and Sumanshu Khan. Now I am no more getting my default representation of the object. So this is the use of the wrapper method. So wrapper method is intended for the developers and which is useful for the string representation of an object. So this is an object and there is a string representation. Is like this is a string. This is the f string. This is a string representation object and how the object look like. So my class and whatever the argument it is take like it's one argument, two argument, or any number of arguments. So we have to define in such a way. All right. So how this is like doing is when we called obj, but will okay, let's do something else. Right. Now def and so now we have the one more method. We have the str method. So str method is also for the like string representation, but it is intended for the user, because even if we go to the normal, let's suppose I'm not a developer, so I don't know what is my class, what is this, why we put this bracket here, why we are passing two arguments. We don't know what is Manchu. Is Manchu the first name or the last name? I don't know. But the developer knows Manchu is the first name and Kana is the last name, right? But the normal user don't know. So if we want to print the string representation of an object for the normal user purpose, then we can use the str method. Okay. So for the str method, what we have to print? We have to print. Okay. You can say first name. First name is equal to self dot f name and then comma. Last name is equal to self dot l name. That's it. So now if you are going to print object, you are going to, now I am getting this first name is equal to Sumanchu, last name is equal to Nankana, right? So now this representation, like any user can understand. Okay, any user can understand. Okay, first name is Manchu, last name is Nankana. But this representation, my class Manchu Nankana, is not being clearly understood by the users. User don't know what is Manchu and what is Nankana. It is only understood by the developer. But this representation not even understand by the developer. What is this memory location? What is 8BEE? So this is not even like easily understood by the developers, right? So wrapper and str both are the special method and the magic method which are useful for the string representation of an object. So wrapper is for the like intended, like its intention is like a, but it's the purpose is to like do the string representation for the developers, and its purpose is to do the string representation for the normal user. Okay, then like how to call the wrapper? Because if I am doing print, when str is not defined, then when I did print, it is defining this. When I define str, then I am printing, then it is then it is printing this. Why it is not printing this at this time? So if we have to call the wrapper method, so if we want to print this representation, then what we can do is we can do REPR and obj. We can call this function, and if you print it, so we have to print it, sorry, we have to print it. So you could see now I am able to print my like developer string representation, and I'm able to print the like the normal user string representation. So REPR method, if we have to call, we can call using REPR method, and str method is being called by the object. But you can question is when I don't when the str is not defined, when str is not defined, even at that time, even at that time, if I run this, I'm able to call this developer representation of the class. So I am calling using the print method. So it means REPR can be called by the uh, print function as well. But you can say that is correct. But how it's internally work? So when we call print now, when we call print, so first it is going to check this function. It is going into this, it is going into this class, and within this class it is check whether the str is defined. So in this case, let's suppose str is defined. In this case, let's suppose str is defined. Sorry, 1 minute. So in this case, str is defined. So if str is defined, then it is going to print. So print object first going to check the str function. Let's suppose if str function is not defined, then it is going to the fallback function. So a wrapper is called the fallback function for the str. So now it is going to the my class. Let's suppose even if my class is not this wrapper is not also not defined, then it is going to print the by default representation. So see the like uh, so Python like print function. So print function first it is going to check the str. If str is not defined, then it is going to check the wrapper. If a wrapper is not going to define, then it is going to print the default representation of an object. So it work like this only. All right. So but if you manually, if you let's suppose there is a function and in which there is a class in which we have both the REPR and str. So if we just do print, then we know if str is defined, then it is going to print str. But we want to REPR, then you can call this using the REPR of object, REPR object. So in this way, you can print the both the function something. Okay, this is extra. So you can print both the like representation. So that's it. Like anything else left. So REPR you can call by the REPR. Print you can call by the print. So basically, print function will try to get first str. If it is not defined, then it is going to the REPR. If REPR is not defined, then it is going to print the participant. So it is only like a good question. We'll ask generally ask the first round. So that's it. That's the end of the video. And thank you.